Say hello to my little friend. So what do you do when you have a really heavy BMW that won't start because the starter's bad and you are by yourself? Your driveway's on an incline to get it into your shop and onto your lift. Well, you get creative. That's what you do whenever you're by yourself and you don't have a lot of helpers to get you to help you get a car on a lift. So that car is a 2000 BMW 750iL. It's got the V12. I would probably guess, I don't know, I'll look here in a second and see, but I would guess that's probably at least a 4,500 pound car, if not 5,000. It's pretty heavy. So starter went out on it and had to get it on the lift, and as you can see, kind of had to just rig up some stuff to make it happen. You know, when you got to get a job done, you got to get a job done. So had some help from my new little friend. It is a Warn Industries PullzAll 1,000-pound electric winch. So that's come in handy a few times, especially when I'm trying to get a car on a trailer around here that doesn't run. Obviously I've got an extension cord that I can plug into or take a little generator with me. And then for items just like what we just did today on getting this car set up on the ramp. As I mentioned, we've got a starter problem, and I'll show you that here in a second, but as I've read more and more into changing the starter out on these V12s, this is not going to be fun. Evidently you have to take off a couple of the exhaust down tubes from the exhaust manifold on the passenger side, and obviously skid plates, things like that, to try to get access to it. And it is not going to be fun. So thank you, Lord, for me having a lift. It makes it a lot easier to do this instead of having to do it in a cold driveway. I know you can't really tell on the video here, but I've got a little bit of an incline on that drive, and of course you got the lip where the shop starts, the shop slab starts, and then getting back here to this part's not that hard, but then getting up on those ramps, you know, again, when you're by yourself and a car doesn't run, that little Warn winch really comes in handy. So I'll be putting a link below for this. I did buy this on Amazon. I think it's got like about a 15-foot cable. Again, it's called the PullzAll, and it just comes in handy when you need an extra set of hands. If you're like me, a lot of times I'm out here in the shop on my own, and you just need a little extra help. Just going to give you an idea of what is going on. You'll hear it here in a second. So as you could hear, that was the starter not engaging into the flywheel. Really don't know what's going on. Obviously got to pull it off. I don't need to bench test it because I know that the actual starter is working. I've got ground, I've got power, you know, it's spinning, it's whirling. I don't think it's broken teeth or anything like that on my flex plate flywheel or on the actual starter itself. I think it's just an engagement problem. I think that that rod is not pushing forward for whatever reason. You know, I've heard that Bendix goes out and that kind of stuff on these things, and it can cause that. One of the things I got on the BMW thread and looked around, and it said something to the fact of low battery or low voltage, that it can sometimes just not kick that in there. So I tried jump starting it with my diesel, and still nothing. You know, it feels like it's got good power. It feels like it's got good voltage going down there. Obviously you can hear it whining. So we're just going to figure out what's going on. The bad part about that is most starters are pretty easy to get to when you're talking a vehicle, and you can kind of bang on them with a hammer. You can, you know, hit them, those kind of things. Spray some dry lube up in there, and sometimes get them to kind of come out of whatever binding they've got. In this case, there's just no way. There's just no access to the starter. It is way up in there. and it is a booger from what everybody says. So great thing though is again, the online community came through. You go on these BMW forums, and you know, a lot of times these have been figured out ahead of time. There was one on there, I forgot the user's name, where I went, and it basically said, you know, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. He had pictures. So I'm not going to do a tutorial. I'll just add his information in the link below. Trying to keep a positive attitude and go into this, but based what I saw online, it's going to be one of those big time projects. Mainly just from a hard to get to situation. You know, once you get the starter, you know, kind of withdrawn from its cocoon of exhaust pipes and, you know, all this other stuff around it. It should, you know, a couple bolts, I would imagine, and you're done. At least that's what most starters are. So then examining it, figuring out what's going on, finding a replacement if I need that, that's going to be the next project. But so I wanted to get it in here on the lift, get it taken care of. I'm kind of giving you a quasi review of the Warn PullzAll winch. Guys, go get it. The biggest issues that I've seen on it are the 15-foot the cord, or the, I'm sorry, cable. Can be an issue. I mean, you have to kind of reset just because it's got a short cable, but it allows you at least to carry it around. They have a battery pack version, that's actually a rechargeable version that you can get to where you don't have to have electricity. I did not get that just because I kind of read some reviews that, you know, the power's not that long, especially if you're out in the field and you're expecting it to load a car on a trailer or something. I just didn't want to take the chance of it running bad and then literally having no backup. So getting the electric version kind of forces you to have a plan. You're either going to A, take a generator with you, or B, have access to some power wherever you're going. So, and I think it was a little bit cheaper, if I remember right, the electric version was. So it's really come in handy a lot of times for me, getting a car on a trailer or getting a car on the ramp when you're going up some very steep incline. I've loaded several cars with it here by myself in the driveway, getting it on my car hauler that are not running vehicles, that I didn't want to get the tractor out and push it up or tow it up or whatever. You know, you stick this to the front of the trailer, put electric cord to it, and you're good to go. May have to reset maybe once or twice to be able to get the full, you know, car fully on the trailer. But man, it sure beats having to call your buddies and ruin their Saturday or Sunday just to come over and help you push something, or damage your vehicle by using a tractor or another vehicle, you know, to try to push it up or tow it up. So you can go very slow and methodical. You saw with the actual speed of the cable spooling itself, it's really slow, so you can kind of keep an eye on things, make sure you're not getting crazy, your tires aren't getting off to one side or the other on your ramp or your trailer. And so it's been a really good tool to use, especially if you're by yourself quite a bit. So this is kind of a combo video. It's kind of a Warn PullzAll review. But it's also just letting you know what's going on in my life. I took the BMW to work the other day, ran great. Came out to go get some, it was 50-cent corn dog day at a local restaurant, a fast food chain that is headquartered in Oklahoma City, by the way, Sonic. So 50-cent corn dogs, and man, I'm going to go get me some corn dogs. I'm hungry. Go out to the parking lot, turn the key, and nothing. Nothing happens, doesn't start up. What the heck's going on? Get out, check my battery cables, you know, kind of do all that stuff, just make sure that everything's copacetic there. And then when I opened the door and tried to turn the key is when I could really hear that whining. It's pretty loud when you're outside the car, but when you're inside the car, the great thing about these 750 ILs is they're very sound insulated. I couldn't really hear it from the inside. And so when I opened the door and turned the key, sure enough, I could hear it. Thinking about how in the heck am I going to get underneath this thing? You know, I think it was fixing to rain the next day or something like that. So I just went ahead and bit the bullet, which I typically don't do, and called a tow truck. And by the way, my insurance, you know, it's one of those things. Again, it could only happen to me. It seems like, or at least you think that when you're going through it. I called my insurance, and because I on all my vehicles I get towing or roadside assistance, you know, pay for that extra service. And lo and behold, sure enough, This is the only vehicle on my policy that does not have roadside assistance. Now, that being said, I got to give it up, and I'm going to give it up to State Farm on this one because I went ahead and went through the State Farm number on the back of my insurance card and called the 1-800 number for roadside assistance. And the great thing about it is they still helped me. They still got me a tow. They told me how much it was going to be. They estimated a mileage. They have a really cool app on that actually they send you a link, a text link, and you go in there and kind of go through the process of setting up your configuration, you know, where you're at, what's going on, do you need a jump, do you need a tow, where are you going, and all that good stuff. And then it live feeds into the operator that you're talking to on the phone. And he was able to tell me, hey, it's going to be 69 bucks to get this thing towed from your location to your house. And 69 bucks is not cheap, don't get me wrong, guys, but at the same point in time, you know, trying to get this thing loaded on a trailer by myself, typically, then back here, and you know, it was just going to be, you know, 69 bucks, heck yeah, get it done. But I'll let you know the progress as we go. One things I did want to get you updated on is, I know you can't really see it very well back there, but the Model T. I got the Model T not quite running, but guys, it's close. I figured out, had some coils that weren't dialed in, and I got the coils clacking, and I got all the electrical figured out, and I got it cranking. And last night I almost got it started. I mean, it was close. It kicked over a couple of times. I couldn't get it stay running. But it is in the process of running very, very soon. I got gas in it. Got the new sediment bowl. That's the old one, but they got the new one came in, so it's not leaking. And so we are on our way to getting a fully running Model T Speedster. And I'm really excited about that because that's been a long time coming. So hopefully on the next video you'll get a little bit more details on that. Today is picture day. I'm going to be waiting for the sun to go down a little bit more here, about 20 minutes more, and then I'm taking the 55 over to a local parking lot and going to be taking a lot of pictures of it because it's going up for sale this week. And so I've got some good pictures of it so far, but I wanted to give a few more, and so I was just waiting for some good light and a good sunny day to do that. It's been kind of bad weather around here, so it's the first time I've been able to really get it out. And then I've got the 89 over here. It's getting ready to go on the online too to sell. Really, it just needs to be cleaned up, but I was hoping to get some pictures of it today, and if I have time, I'm going to try to get it cleaned up and get some good pictures to put it online for sale too. So both of these vehicles within the next week or two are going to be headed out of the shop. I'm really going to miss the 55. I mean, that thing is... Now that I got the new carb on it, it is like a dream. It drives so well, and it just really, I'm really sad to see it go. But man, I gotta make it happen. And then for all of you that are still curious about it, there's Old Bones. I do have some parts for Old Bones, and you've seen them in my videos for the last few weeks. I just haven't had time to put them on, and I apologize that I'll get back around to Old Bones here in a little bit, but. Those are some of the parts sitting right there for the diesel, 6.5 diesel, and it will be up to, next couple of weeks we'll get around to getting something done on it. So that's the kind of update for now, guys. Again, just wanted to say thank you for all the subscribes and the likes, all the comments. I really enjoy that, and really getting a lot of good feedback from you guys in the field, so continue to do that if you can. Click on the links below for this information I told you about. And car life, no one said the car life was going to be an easy life, no, by any means, but it's a fun life, and I enjoy it, and it's something different, and figuring things out is kind of the best part about it. And so I figured out that Model T this week, figured out how to kind of get it started and do the timing and the throttle, and I'm learning new stuff every day. And it looks like I'm fixing to learn how to take a starter off a V12 BMW. So guys, God bless, thank you, take care.